Plants can struggle even with plenty of sun and water. Often the missing piece is the nutrient cycle, the natural system that moves elements like nitrogen, carbon, and phosphorus through soil, plants, animals, and back again. This guide explains how the cycle works, why it shapes plant growth and ecosystem health, and what speeds it up or slows it down. You will see simple ways to support this quiet recycling system in your yard or field. Key takeaways: nutrient cycling moves key elements, including nitrogen, carbon, and phosphorus, through soil, organisms, and the atmosphere. These loops have sustained Earth's ecosystems for millions of years. Too much fertilizer causes nutrient pollution that triggers algal blooms and dead zones. USGS data showed unsafe nitrate levels in parts of several states in 2014. Clearing forests can raise nitrogen loss from soil by as much as 95% compared with forested sites, weakening the loops that support plant growth. Industrial agriculture produces about 80% of man-made ammonia emissions in North America. EPA 2021, adding excess nitrogen and phosphorus to air and water. Climate change speeds decay yet shifts rain patterns. Since 1970, many regions have seen more droughts or floods, which disturb nutrient movement and storage. Understanding nutrient cycling in ecosystems. Nutrient cycling is the movement and exchange of inorganic and organic material through ecosystems. Think of it as nature's supply chain that never stops. Microorganisms, plants, and animals use nutrients, then return them to the environment, keeping the flow going for the next generation. What is nutrient cycling? Matter moves in loops through the biosphere. Elements such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, and water shift between living organisms and the environment again and again. This network of pathways is called nutrient cycling, or a biogeochemical cycle, which means chemical movement through life and earth. Plants pull mineral nutrients from soil or air. Animals eat those plants. Decomposers like bacteria and fungus, a group of simple organisms, break down dead material and release minerals back to the system. In your garden, compost from plant litter and food scraps breaks down with help from earthworms and microbes. This process returns potassium, phosphorus, calcium, and nitrogen to the soil where roots can use them. Inorganic compounds also cycle. Carbon dioxide moves between the air and living cells through photosynthesis and cellular respiration, the process that releases energy from food. Everything living borrows its elements, then returns them after use. Each part of this exchange supports life across many ecosystems. These mineral cycles keep balance, so you can grow healthy plants and support nearby wildlife. Why are nutrients important for ecosystems? Nutrients such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus are the building blocks of life. Bodies use them for growth, energy, and repair. Plants absorb nutrients from soil or water during photosynthesis, the process that turns light into sugar. Animals gain the same nutrients by eating plants or other animals. Each link in a food web passes minerals up the trophic levels, the steps in a feeding chain. Soil bacteria convert nitrogen gas into plant-ready forms like ammonium and nitrate. When organisms die, decay releases compounds back to the cycle. If you add too much fertilizer or remove forests, you disrupt these loops. The result is poor plant nutrition, weaker soil fertility, and strained energy flow through food webs. Core processes of a nutrient cycle. You can see the cycle in motion as nutrients move through living things, then return to soil, water, and air. Each process keeps minerals available for the next round of growth. How do organisms take up nutrients? Plant roots absorb dissolved minerals in soil water. Root hairs, tiny extensions on roots, grab nitrate, phosphate, potassium, and other ions. Earthworms and insects shred organic matter so microbes can finish the job. Bacteria and fungi release enzymes, special proteins that speed reactions to turn decaying material into plant-ready forms like ammonium and soluble phosphorus. Animals get nutrients by eating. A caterpillar gains proteins, sugar, and minerals from leaves. Fish eat algae rich in nitrogen compounds that build tissue. Microbes in animal guts also break complex molecules into smaller pieces the host can absorb. Without microbes returning dead material to nutrients, soil scientist Elaine Ingham notes, plants would run out of fuel. Once organisms take up nutrients, those elements change form through several steps before returning to the environment. How are nutrients transformed in ecosystems? Nitrogen-fixing bacteria convert atmospheric N2 into ammonia so plants can use it. Nitrifying bacteria then change ammonia into nitrate, which roots absorb easily. Fungi break down wood and fiber using enzymes. Forests depend on these organisms to recycle locked nutrients. Decomposers reduce complex remains into simpler substances that support fresh growth. Proteins and amino acids release nitrogen during decomposition. Weathering, the slow breakdown of rock, adds phosphorus to soils that crops need for strong roots. Volcanic eruptions add sulfur and other minerals to land and air over time. As leaf litter breaks down, its minerals enter food chains.